Hello everyone! The DeFi insurance space is set for explosive growth. We have implemented a massive new feature to reward LPs with NPM emissions, this being in addition to the stablecoin returns they generate from policy fees. Learn how to influence NPM emissions in your favor and boost the NPM emissions you receive in comparison to other users. Keep watching for the what, when and how of veNPM power. In this video, we'll be exploring what veNPM is, how it works, and its benefits for the Neptune Mutual community. We'll guide you through the basic returns available for liquidity providers, and then we'll progress to show you how to boost these returns. Let's have a look at the different streams of return provided to LPs. To provide liquidity to a cover pool, you need to stake a nominal amount of NPM tokens at the time you provide the USDC to the cover pool. The first source of return for a cover pool LP is a portion of the USDC cover policy fees paid by policyholders. Neptune Mutual is implementing its own reward for LPs by providing emissions of NPM tokens on a regular basis. NPM token emissions will be allocated across a select number of different cover pools. So let's look at veNPM. veNPM has two distinct benefits. The first is that it allows users to increase their voting power when voting in snapshot votes that govern the allocation of NPM emissions to cover pools. The second is that it boosts the allocation of cover pool NPM emissions to veNPM holders. So how do you get a veNPM token? To receive veNPM tokens, you need to lock up NPM tokens in the vote locker. You can select a duration for the lock period from anywhere between 4 weeks to 208 weeks. Once locked, veNPM tokens cannot be transferred, and the balance remains constant throughout the lockup period. As mentioned, the veNPM token has two separate benefits. Firstly, it provides increased voting power, and secondly, it provides boosted NPM emission returns. The amount of increased voting power and the amount of NPM emission boost are both calculated by the vote locker and depend upon how long you lock up your NPM. For the maximum 4x voting power and 4x boost, lock up your NPM for 4 years. Note that power and boost decline with time, as you can see on the image on the right. After a period of time, you can level up your veNPM power and boost by extending the lock of the NPM in the vote locker. Note that before submitting a lock transaction, make sure that you approve the Vote Escrow token contract to spend your NPM tokens. Lock your desired number of NPM tokens in the Vote Escrow token contract for the specified duration in weeks. Upon successful completion of this transaction, you will receive equal units of NPM in veNPM tokens. Your veNPM token balances will not automatically decrease. At the end of the lock duration, you will need to redeem your veNPM tokens to get back the NPM tokens locked using the same wallet used to lock them in the future. Now let's have a look at the Liquidity Gauge controller. This shows the allocation of NPM across the different cover pools, and of course this is dependent on the outcome of the regular NPM emission snapshot votes. So veNPM holders have more power to influence the outcome of allocation of NPM emissions in favor of cover pools in which they are LPs. In addition, veNPM holders receive a greater proportion of the NPM emissions corresponding the boost of their veNPM tokens. So let's have a look at this boost. Firstly, NPM holders are entitled to NPM emissions and can also vote with their NPM tokens in the snapshot process. However, it is not possible to increase voting power or boost with an NPM token. veNPM tokens enable LPs to increase the returns they receive. As we have seen by locking up NPM tokens for the maximum duration, provides ×4 voting power and ×4 boost. So, in summary, veNPM is a governance mechanism that rewards long-term commitment and participation within the Neptune Mutual ecosystem. veNPM incentivizes users to lock up their NPM tokens, receive veNPM tokens with increased voting power and emission boost, and participate in community governance. Now, we'll run you through the steps of how to lock your NPM tokens for veNPM and navigating the Liquidity Gauge mechanism. Head over to the Neptune Mutual Marketplace and click on Vote Escrow at the top of the page. This is how the Vote Escrow page looks like. Now you can enter the number of NPM tokens that you'd like to convert into Vote Escrow NPM or veNPM in the token locker. The next step is to select the duration of the lock, measured in number of weeks, by sliding the blue dot to the right along the duration bar. Check that you are happy with the amount of boost your lockup has provided and extend the duration if you would like more boost. Once you're satisfied with your selection, read and click the Acknowledgement checkbox and click on the Approve NPM button. Success! Now you have your veNPMs and can proceed to click on the View Liquidity Gauge button at the top of the page. This will take you to the latest status of the gauge pool, and you will see the cover pools that are eligible to receive NPM emissions. If you are a cover pool LP for any of the pools listed in the gauge pool, then to receive NPM emissions, you must lock up the proof of deposit tokens, or pods, that you received when you provided liquidity to the cover pool. This provides the proof necessary that you are eligible for the NPM emissions that correspond to that specific cover pool. So just to repeat, you need to lock your pods for all the cover pools you have provided liquidity to if they appear in the Liquidity Gauge pool and you want to receive the corresponding NPM emissions. The next step is to click on the button marked Submit Your Vote at the top of the Vote Escrow page. This will take you to the snapshot vote that will decide the allocation of NPM emissions for the next epoch of the Liquidity Gauge pool. To get a full explanation of the snapshot vote system, please subscribe to our channel and look at the next tutorial that we have dedicated to snapshot voting. Now let's go back to the Get Vote Escrow NPM page and have a look in detail at the information presented. Total vote locked shows you how many NPM tokens have been locked in the token locker. The next column shows you the maximum boost available, which is X4. Maximum boost refers both to the boosted voting power and also to the boosted number of NPM emissions you will be allocated. Average lock tells you the average duration that users have locked up their NPM tokens for. Once you have locked your NPM tokens in the token locker, you will see your veNPM balance appear in the row below. Your unlock timestamp will show you the end date of the lockup duration. When this timestamp is reached, you can unlock your veNPM and convert them back into NPM without incurring any penalty. In the last row of this block of information is information relating to the penalty you incur if you'd like to unlock your veNPM and convert them back into NPM before reaching the unlock timestamp, that is, before the full term of the duration of the lock. Typically, the penalty is 25%. That is to say, you will receive 75% of the NPM you initially deposited. To the right of the NPM to lock, there is a checkbox entitled Extend Only. Once you have locked up your NPM for veNPM and received boosted power, you will see that this power declines over time. If at any point you would like to increase your boosted power, you can do so by extending the lock period of your existing veNPM. To do so, check the Extend Only checkbox and proceed as before by selecting the additional duration. Note that until you have veNPM tokens, this checkbox will be grayed out and inaccessible. Below the Get veNPM tokens, you'll see information appear relating to the number of NPM tokens you have locked and the power and boost that you have achieved with your veNPM. The Unlock button at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen will obviously allow you to unlock your veNPM and convert them into NPM at the end of the lock duration. Or as mentioned before, you can unlock your veNPM early, but you will incur a penalty. And that's it, Neptunites. We hope you enjoyed this video. Remember, if you have any questions on how these features work that weren't answered on this video, you can contact the team through our socials. In the next video, we will dive into how the voting mechanism works on Snapshot. Subscribe to this channel and make sure you follow us on Twitter and join our Discord to keep up to date with the latest news.